I started my business in Greensburg a few months after the tornado. The place where I was working went out of business, and then after the tornado I spent so much time here, and I wanted to be involved in what was going on. My name is Ashley Petty, and I own Elements Therapeutic Massage and Day Spa. I thought massage therapy was something people in Greensburg really needed. The stress levels are really high, people rebuilding, people trying to get their jobs back to normal, their lives back to normal, and it's just a time that people can take an hour and relax, and I thought it would be a service that would really be needed in our community. I've been a massage therapist for about 4.5 years. I started taking classes for massage therapy while I was in college. I'm getting my business degree. For some of our business classes, I had already written my business plan, which had to be modified for this case, but I already had a lot of that in place. I started going to the business meetings here in town, and the city of Greensburg acquired some temporary business trailers for businesses to come in and use to get started or to come back before they could rebuild. When I acquired the trailer, it was not in the best condition. Just to get my electricity ran was like $1,600, so just to start out, I was a couple $1,000s in the hole for a 1970s trailer, and that's pretty scary to start out with something you're renting that leaks water, that the gas runs constantly through the winter, and I know $400 doesn't sound like much, but it's a lot when you're starting a couple $1,000s in the hole and nobody knows your business is open in town. There are so many hoops to jump through, going through the permits and the licensing through the city, get the building permit, even though I was just putting a trailer on the land. It's not as easy as it sounds. I was ready to call it quits a month or two ago. The situation in Greensburg is so different than starting a business anywhere else. The target market is so small, so you really have to narrow in on who your client base is and your customers are. Communication has come down to people talking word of mouth. We don't have the things we had before to get word out, to communicate, to advertise. And so I've been trying to be involved, be present at meetings and things, and just to let people know I'm open. I told myself when I started, if it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Last month, I didn't make any money. I had more bills than I did customers. We had some rainstorms, my trailer was leaking, water everywhere. It's tough to know how much money you want to put into it because it is a temporary situation. I love doing what I do. I love my job, but I didn't love dealing with that part of it. But I've moved past that. May's a new month. I have applied for the incubator building. I'm really going to have to focus on keeping my expenses low. There'll be solar panels, wind turbines. The cost of running for electricity, for the heating will be so much less than what it was, and hopefully it'll be done this fall and we can move in if I'm accepted.
At this point in time, I think we have 8 or 9 applications, but I know we've talked with some others that are planning on getting them in as well. I'm Jeanette Siemens, and I'm Economic Development Director for Kiowa County. A business incubator is exactly what the word incubator means. It's to try to help businesses hatch so they can go out on their own. It's to give them a kind of a leg up in getting started. Usually they are for startup businesses that are just beginning. In this case, obviously, we're trying to help businesses get back in business. So this is just an opportunity for them to share some services, share some space that's reasonably priced, and get their feet on the ground before moving out on their own. I think it's going to be a really good experience for any business going in there. In addition to the overhead being very acceptable to a startup business or a new business, there's also going to be things that are going to be offered because they're in the incubator, such as some trainings that will help each one of the businesses. It could be in marketing, could be in finance, it could be in planning, all those kinds of things, and as well as the networking. And the The incubator is also going to be an attraction because it's a LEED certified building, which is just almost unheard of, particularly in a rural community. So it's going to be an attraction in itself. So particularly for retail, that's going to be a good thing. The Greensburg economy before the tornado was really pretty much agriculture. Granted, there was a Main Street, and it's the county seat, so it was a viable town, but it was mainly agriculture. And I think agriculture is always going to play a huge part in the economy in Kiowa County, but maybe in some new ways, either in construction or creating sustainable energies or in creating sustainable living, really. Will there be a different demographics to Greensburg as we kind of create a new Greensburg? I think so. One of the biggest challenges with trying to recruit a business is letting them know they're going to have a workforce. I do think there'll be a younger community. We're going to see different thought processes as far as transportation, as far as the way we live. I think it's going to be a destination for people to visit. I think it's going to be educational for people to come learn from, and I think it's going to be very entrepreneurial as far as the economy.